Welcome to Democracy Roundtable, everyone. Today, we're diving into some critical issues, from the Trump administration's seemingly conflicting messages on Iran to the rise of AI-generated disinformation and the specter of political violence here at home. Jordan is here to break down these pressing issues with me.
Thanks, Amara. It's a packed agenda, and unfortunately, a lot of it is pretty concerning. It feels like we're constantly playing catch-up.
Exactly. Let's start with Iran. We're seeing conflicting statements coming from the White House and the Pentagon. The president claims the war is very complete, yet the Defense Department hints that it's only just begun. James, as our national security expert, what's your take on this apparent disconnect?
It's incredibly dangerous, Amara. This kind of communication breakdown breeds uncertainty, both domestically and internationally. Allies and adversaries alike are left guessing about our true intentions and capabilities. It also opens the door for miscalculations and escalations. We've seen a similar pattern before, but the stakes are higher than ever. Is there a strategy, or is this just chaos?
And a Democrat is already criticizing the president's strategy, citing U.S. casualties. It seems there's a legislative push to counter his economic policies as well. It's a messy situation, to say the least.
Priya, how do you see the conflicting narratives impacting public trust and potentially fueling social division here at home?
Amara, it's deeply concerning. When the public is bombarded with contradictory information, especially on matters of war and peace, it erodes trust in government institutions. This lack of trust can then be exploited by extremist groups and foreign actors to sow discord and further polarize society. We've seen this play out time and time again, and it always leads to increased social unrest.
That's such a critical point, Priya. The erosion of trust has far-reaching consequences. On a separate note, let's shift gears to some domestic news. Representative Benny Thompson secured his primary win in Mississippi. It's great to see such a dedicated civil rights leader continue to represent his district.
Absolutely. Thompson's long history of service is undeniable. But now, something more unsettling. 2 men were charged with terrorism after an incident near Mayor Mamdani's residence in New York. And then a suspicious device was found nearby. Priya, your thoughts?
This is a stark reminder of the rising threat of political violence in our country, Amara. Targeting elected officials is an attack on the very foundations of our democracy. The fact that these individuals are being charged with terrorism speaks to the severity of the situation. We need to address the root causes of this extremism, which include the spread of misinformation, the normalization of hate speech, and the proliferation of firearms.
It's terrifying, and it feels connected to the earlier point about eroding trust. When people feel unheard or disenfranchised, they can be susceptible to radicalization. We need to address the underlying issues that are fueling this anger and resentment.
Speaking of misinformation, let's turn to Meta's oversight board urging stronger oversight of AI-generated fake videos. Rachel, you've been following this closely. What's the key takeaway here?
The Oversight Board is essentially saying that Meta isn't doing enough to combat AI-generated disinformation, especially during crises. They reviewed a specific case where a fake video falsely depicted damage in Haifa, Israel. These deepfakes can spread rapidly and have real-world consequences, inflaming tensions and inciting violence. The board wants Meta to be more proactive in identifying and removing this content, and to be more transparent about its policies.
It's a difficult challenge. How do you balance free speech with the need to protect the public from harmful disinformation? It feels like we're always one step behind the technology.
That's precisely the problem. The technology is evolving so rapidly that our regulatory frameworks, and even our societal understanding of what's real and fake, are struggling to keep up. We need to invest in media literacy education and develop more sophisticated detection tools. But ultimately, it's going to require a multi-pronged approach involving tech companies, governments, and individual citizens.
It's a race against time. Finally, a bit of lighter news. Irvine, California has been selected as the USMNT training base for the 2026 World Cup. It's great to see the excitement building for the tournament.
Definitely a welcome change of pace. On a completely unrelated note, the Raiders say the Ravens backed out of a trade for Max Crosby over injury concerns. Sports drama, I suppose.
Indeed. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Jordan, any final thoughts?
It feels like we're navigating a complex web of challenges, from international tensions to domestic extremism and the rise of AI-generated disinformation. It's crucial that we remain vigilant, informed, and engaged in the democratic process. We can't afford to be complacent.
I agree completely. We need to hold our leaders accountable, demand transparency, and work together to build a more just and equitable society. Thanks for joining me today, Jordan, James, Priya, and Rachel. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Democracy Roundtable. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.